Aloha interwebs, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today is Friday, and we are going to go see Man of Steel. Yay! This is my most anticipated movie of 2013 because, aside the fact that it's a Superman movie, Superman's awesome. It's supposed to carry the hopes and dreams of a decent Justice League, series of movies come out. I'm also going to be doing a collaboration video for the review on this with my buddy Caleb from TheCrackedNation, so that'll be fun too. And if you've seen some of my previous videos, my reviews, you know I'm not a huge fan of 3D, which is to say I think it actually sucks. But since this is my most anticipated movie of the movie season, I'm going to go see this in IMAX and 3D. So try to get make it a whole experience and take it all in and see how it goes. So we're off to the movies. Let's hit it up. We're still in the IMAX. We just got done watching Superman, or well, not Superman, but Man of Steel. And
available everywhere May 7th. To learn more, visit
it was pretty awesome sauce. But I want to think about some things. I need to let some things stew in my head before I unleash the full fury of my review. So I'm going to think about it for a little bit, and then we'll get back together and we'll have a chat, interwebs.
Here is Mavis Staples with I Like the Things
Yeah,
About Me.
let's do that. I need to think about this.
Welcome back to my channel.
Connect.
This is Caleb from TheCrackedNation. We're going to do a collaboration review for Man of Steel, which we both saw this weekend. So, before we get into too many spoiler situations, we're going to discuss some things. So there are going to be spoilers in this video. So if you don't want that to happen, you should probably turn the video off. But
click something else.
yeah. Before we get into that, just overall impressions? What did you think of the movie?
Oh boy. Well, this was my second most anticipated movie of the year. My most being The Hobbit. Huge Lord of the Rings fan, so obviously that's my number one. But this one I think I had more expectations for. And so knowing that Nolan produced it, I was like, okay, is this going to be the Dark Knight kind of movie? Or is it going to be Avengers? You kind of got this two to balance it between.
Right.
And it was like neither at all. I mean, this was Zack Snyder 100%.
Right.
And that kind of shocked me. I thought it was going to be a lot more Nolan, but it was a lot more Snyder. And overall, I liked it a lot. But I didn't completely love it. It wasn't like Dark Knight for me, because Dark Knight's my second favorite all-time movie. I just love it. This one, I really enjoyed it, and it was a perfect reboot to the Superman franchise. But it won't hold up in 10 years, I don't think.
Yeah, and that all really kind of depends on what they're going to do with the character now. With they've already confirmed that he's going to have a sequel. This movie was supposed to be carrying the hopes and dreams of the Justice League on it. Whether or not Superman was going to be a good enough character in this movie to carry a Justice League movie, an Avengers style Justice League movie. They can make a Justice League movie with a bunch of characters, and people may or may not like it, but they obviously, DC wants to have some kind of market share in the comic book movie genre, just like Marvel does. So there was kind of a lot riding on this particular movie, and I'm glad that you pointed out more Snyder than Nolan in this one, because if anything, there's more J.J. Abrams in this movie. There's
so much
there's a lot of zoomy in things that he's done in the past two Star Trek movies, but there's lens flares everywhere. I don't know when that became so popular, but there's lens flares and everything now. So
it kind of has to do with this sci-fi thing, when you're in space and it's all CGI, lens flare. I wonder
film. I liked it. I liked it as a movie, and it got me right in the beginning. You really had a hard time with Russell Crowe being in Les Mis. I don't think he did a very good job. I don't know who told him he was a good singer.
You're not the only one.
I think he did a great job in this, and I really feel the same way about Kevin Costner. Never been the hugest Kevin Costner fan. I think he's pretty overrated, and a lot of people love his stuff and love what he does. And I think he had his moments, but I really, really liked him in this movie. And so that whole the way the movie starts off with, you know, the history and the origin of the Superman character overall, it really drew me in and you know, kind of sold me before he even put on the suit. So I was already invested and I already liked it.
Actually, that was probably my favorite part of the movie.
The beginning?
Yeah, I liked the part when he didn't have the suit. Yeah. I liked the beginning. I loved Russell Crowe. Like, he was probably my favorite actor in the whole movie. Like he just killed it.
Definitely.
And then I loved Michael Shannon. I thought he did a great role. And then, like you said, Kevin Costner. I'm not a big fan either. Actually, I probably don't really like him as an actor.
Yeah.
I see him, I'm like, okay, it's going to be good acting, but not anything Oscar-worthy. But this was like, hey,
he tends to keep playing the same kind of characters and the same mannerisms and facial expressions, so it's hard to believe that he's somebody else when he doesn't play it like he's somebody else. But I really liked him as Pa Kent in this movie.
Yeah,
I think it was a very
and what'd you think of?
He had a very emotional part, and he played it well.
Definitely. What'd you think of Lois Lane, and then some of the other supporting actors as well, like
I'm not the hugest Amy Adams fan. I think she's too cutesy for Lois Lane, but at the same time, she put some moments in there where she was like the ballsy investigative reporter, but I just kind of have this preconceived notion of what she's like from her previous movies, her previous roles. So it's kind of hard to buy her in that. And I know a lot of people had a hard time with her being a redhead. Just everybody knows Lois Lane as a brunette or a darker haired person, but that didn't bother me as much as the acting. So it's just hard to have somebody to.
And I thought it was good acting, just kind of.
Yeah, no, I just buy her as this cutesy type of character, but kind of a character actor, but not so much the hard nosed, hard ass type of
journalism
that Lois Lane is really supposed to be. What is the biggest problem that you saw in the movie that keeps it from being over the top awesome for you?
Maybe the fact that about 50 million people would have died. You know, like, the whole
definitely
city
came into a
was
Transformers
gone.
movie there at the end when they just started blowing up cities left and right during the fight.
Yep, exactly. I really didn't have any big issues with the actual movie. Like, I really liked everything. The score was fantastic by Hans Zimmer. Oh my, so good.
But some very
I mean, there wasn't anything that was like,
choices that showed up in just the right spots.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Sound effects, everything was really good. It got me in. I don't think there's anything that I was really didn't like about it, except for maybe that the fact that way too many people died.
Yeah,
way too many. But that makes it kind of realistic too, in a way.
The biggest problem that I had with the movie until the end, one thing that I was really kind of bothering me all the way up until the end was the fact that. You know, there's no time for humanity to build up a fan base for Superman. You know, he finds the suit, and then the next day, aliens come from the sky and say, "We're looking for this dude. Have you seen him?" And, you know, that's like, why wouldn't humanity give him up? Why would they fight? What do they have invested in this guy that, you know, it's not like he had been around for a couple of years saving people and averting calamities all over the planet, and human beings are like, no way, we're not giving you Superman. He's Superman. He's our hero. They don't even know who he is. Like, give us the alien. They're like, there's an alien here? You know, so there's no investment in humanity to support Superman. And then pretty much the biggest problem that I had with the whole thing is that, you know, Superman has always been, for 75 years in print and in movies and in cartoons and stuff, he's been held up as like the ideal, you know, human, even though he's not. He's the supposed to be the banner boy for humanity. And even in a lot of the more recent storylines that you can see in like even cartoons and comic books for Superman, is that he will do everything that he absolutely positively can, short of sacrificing himself to make sure that he is not responsible for someone's death. And for him to kill Zod at the end of this movie is just kind of like, really? I mean, can you be the idyllic, like, you know, iconic, you know, savior of the human race if you
Right.
don't hold yourself up to that high standard. And now it's like, if Superman's willing to kill you, what chance does Lex Luthor really have of being a villain? Or any human for that matter, because they're definitely easier to kill than
Anybody but an alien.
Yeah, right. They're definitely even easier to kill a human than to kill a superpowered alien from outer space. So I don't know how. So now what's the hold Superman back from taking over the planet and enslaving the human race? If he's willing to cross that line, how are we supposed to protect ourselves from him?
It was kind of that.
The only thing that protected the human race from Superman was Superman. And if he's willing to cross that line now, how do we keep him in check? Just take him at his word, I guess? So, I don't know. I had a problem with the way they went down that slope. And,
I've never read the comics.
From an acting standpoint, a filmmaking standpoint, cinematography, score, all of those things line up really well in the beginning of this movie. And I just don't know if I can jump on board the Superman that kills people train. And that's the biggest problem that I have.
Yeah, and I never thought of that. Because I never read the comics or any of that.
And so have a problem with it, but I do.
Right. Okay, so are you a Zack Snyder fan?
It could have been. What's that?
Right.
Yeah.
Are you a Zack Snyder fan? Because I loved Watchmen.
Yeah.
Completely loved it.
I like Watchmen as well. I actually really like a lot of people had a problem with it. I didn't, I wasn't 100% familiar with the graphic novels. So I wasn't so...
Right.
Well, the book is great and things like that. I liked that movie. I thought it was done really well. The cinematography in that movie is awesome. There's a lot of good shots, a lot of ways that he does flashbacks or even just dialogue and conversations. The way he shoots things is very comic book style as far as like camera angles and things. So
definitely.
Yeah, I like what he's done in the past.
Okay.
I don't think that I don't like the movie because it was a choice. It was a directorial choice. It was a story choice, and they knew that this was going to be big. It was going to be big enough for at least for a Man of Steel sequel, if not a continuation of that. As far as like the Justice League and things like that. So. Obviously, they have a plan, a future plan for this incarnation of Superman. I just don't know what it's going to be. If the number one thing that Superman's kind of held so highly for is that he's not going to just kill people to meet his own ends. If that's out the window, then really, what the hell else do you got left? Overall, I think from if you're just looking at it from the outside, looking in as a movie, it was a really cool movie. I had a good time. I'm just having a real hard time getting over the Superman killing people. And I know they tried to make it seem like he had no other choice, but he really did. He really had some other choices. And they didn't
if he had the strength to break his neck, he could have turned it.
Well, yeah, like Zod said, this is only going to end one way. You're going to kill me or I'm going to kill you. So you're not supposed to feel bad for him. And I really don't. I mean, I don't feel bad for the evil alien trying to destroy the Earth. But that's still not what Superman's supposed to be about. And they went down that road. So I just don't know where this is going to lead in the future for these movies. And I'm not sure if I'm going to, be invested in watching any more of it. So if we're on the thumbs up, thumbs down thing, I would have to give it a thumbs down, which breaks my heart because the whole first half of the movie was awesome. And then you got all the way to the end and it just like fell apart in my fingers, I actually felt like that, like I was holding something, and then at the end, and he killed Zod, and it turned into sand and started slipping through my fingers, and I'm like, what do I have left to hold on to? Nothing. This movie is horrible now. I was like 2.5 hours of sitting in a movie, and then they ruined it in the last 20 minutes. So, overall, I actually was disappointed because of that, but the movie was still pretty cool to watch, and it was entertaining. I had a good time, but, I mean, I just have had a really hard time getting over that. And I probably will.
That's a good point. I would have to say, because I hadn't thought of that before. Yeah, I hadn't thought of it before, but I still love the movie. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. A little higher than you, but not Dark Knight status. And I would say it's better than Dark Knight Rises in a way. I think there were less technical issues in this movie and more script issues, whereas Rises, I think, had more technical issues and less script issues, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I think those two are about tied, in my opinion.
I had a
overall,
much,
I liked it.
much
I probably
better
won't
time
see it again.
at Dark Knight Rises than this movie. Everything that
I
built
would
up in that
definitely say
movie
that's definitely true.
culminated in the last half hour of awesomeness for me. I know there's a ton of people out there that hated The Dark Knight Rises and all of those. I happen to like them. I happen to like them a lot, and for me, it was the polar opposite of how I felt about Superman. It was this whole big old build-up, and for me, it was worth sitting 2 hours in a movie just for that last half hour. Because it was awesome how everything kind of came to fruition, and you kind of saw that Bruce Wayne already knew the big picture and had already thought it all out, and he already had it in his mind, whether or not you knew about it going into it, which was awesome for me. And then this is like the opposite.
Yeah.
It kind of had you set up like Superman's going to be good, good. And all of a sudden at the end, is he really good? And so it was kind of the opposite effect for me as far as the comparative Rises. So have we beat this?
Well, thanks for having me on.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for being on. I appreciate it. I appreciate you telling me how to get this
like
thing set up.
25 minutes.
Yeah,
dude. So, yeah, thanks for doing it. Anytime we want to do another collab, just let me know.
Alrighty, interwebs, there you have it. Just to recap a little bit, we both enjoyed the film, but for our own reasons had to give it a fairly lower rating than we normally would have. I just really can't get over that disappointing end, the choice they took with the Superman character. So hopefully they have some more in store for us when it comes to the Man of Steel, and quite possibly a lead into a Justice League movie. I guess we'll have to see how that goes. Thanks for stopping by the channel, interwebs. I appreciate it. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your week. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you guys in the next video.